bracket between LucifroN and VortiX. And LucifroN's got his work cut out for him today. Abbasid versus Ottomans. Let's do it, Dry Arabia. This is the matchup we've all been waiting for. It is an Amir. Hope it should be fun.
Not a mirror. We're really, really happy about this one. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We see that. Wait, is VortiX not going? Oh, never mind. He did go over to stone, so he has gathered enough stone right now in order to immediately drop down his first military school. Gets rid of that one straggler tree, but hey, don't really need that in most Ottoman build orders. So he's gonna be fine with just deleting that one straggler tree. And puts down his first military school. Now, military schools, they're really, really good. They produce units for free in case you haven't played the Ottomans yet. They cost a little bit of stone, so usually you don't really have any buildings in the Dark Age, or just few buildings in the Feudal Age, which cost stone. Military schools are one of them. And they produce units for free. They do so automatically at a really, really low pace in comparison to other production buildings. So it takes roughly like a minute or so for them to produce a spearman. And in this matchup, you can really make use of that by attacking your opponents, the Abbasids' gold. So the Abbasid, they have a lot of technologies really early on that they want to grab. So for example, fresh foodstuffs from the TC, wheelbarrow, as well as fertile crescent or whatever other technology they go for in their House of Wisdom. And the spearmen, they might actually delay that heavily, depending on at which timing they come in.
Look where that gold spawned. This is a nightmare if you're an Abbasid player. He's got his gold on the southeast corner, so as VortiX comes across the map, that puts it in a great spot to harass with his spearmen. And I always like to call out, it's kind of a bonus you maybe don't notice all the time. The Abbasid do have a fire resistance on their buildings from that House of Wisdom. They don't have it right now, but once it's complete, those buildings do have more survivability than your typical mining camp. So as far as like one spearman hitting it, it's going to be okay for a while. So a lot of times you'll see them front load that gold gathering where they'll just make sure they have the gold they need and then they'll pull back. Military wing, okay. There we go. So that'll unlock boot camp.
LucifroN knows what he needs to do in this matchup. He knows that he needs to keep up militarily, and the military wing is going to help him massively with that. So not only as soon as the military wing goes up will it spawn 2 spearmen and an archer, which he can use to defend against these early spearmen that are coming in from VortiX, but he also gets the boot camp upgrade, increasing the HP of all of his infantry by 15%. So that can be his way into this game and just surviving the long extended feudal age against Ottomans.
Yep, that spearman coming out. Going for the wood line. Has he not scouted the gold yet, I wonder? As he's going to go around back and actually... Or maybe he wants to go after the berries. I'm not sure. And he's going to kill that sheep. So if I can't have it, you can't have it. That's going to also be annoying if he wants to build a wall right there, maybe, but shouldn't really matter. But, okay, military wing for the Abbasid. That'll give him access to boot camp here early on. And what do you get? 1 archer, right? 1 archer?
Yeah, 1 archer, 2 spears. So you're definitely going to be able to defend against these spearmen that are coming out from the Ottoman player. So, yeah, I guess that's like... It's also a really valid strategy to play against the Mongols, against like the early tower rush.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this might be the correct play in this matchup.
Okay, the spearman continues to dance around the town. He went the longest route possible to find the gold, I guess. And oh, just in time for an archer to show up. That poor spearman is probably going to be going the way of the dodo bird, and we'll see him getting picked off there. Although he is distracting the army, I guess, pulling him away over to the corner.
Yeah, but still, behind this, LucifroN has managed to do what you usually can't do in this matchup. He has managed to gather both enough gold for his wheelbarrow as well as his fresh foodstuffs upgrade. So he's going to be really, really happy with this start.
Yep, and we see a stable drop down for LucifroN first as he's starting to get stone. He's got 4 villagers gathering that stone, so that's indicating he is likely going to work towards an additional TC, but it's not going to be just a naked drop for a second TC. He's going to have some horsemen out here, probably try to run his opponent around a little bit to buy him a little bit of time, keep him out of his base. And just looking at the resource distribution in LucifroN's base, he's got 2 deer patches to the northeast side, And I don't know if he's going to put his TC out towards those. They're kind of exposed. But it could also, he could wall the corners. Some options there for how he builds that base. But we'll see as he gets to his second TC. And as he LucifroN right now, maybe going to go harass a little bit.
I like this approach right now from LucifroN. I haven't seen it before, and I really want to see how like these top-level players are pulling this specific matchup off. I like the idea of going for the military wing here. Why? Because in the last update, it changed. You don't need the economy wing in order to get fresh foodstuffs. You can now research it out of any TC, no matter what wing you go for. So you can still scale with a second TC as the ambassador really, really nicely. And the military wing makes sure that you can still put up like a comparable military force. So usually at this timing right now, we would already see Ottomans rallying a ton of military over towards the side of the Abbasid. That's not happening right now because of these three units that LucifroN got early on. He managed to push his opponent away from his base. Means that he's able to get some more resources at the beginning, means that he's going to be able to have gold access, which he will need in order to get blacksmith upgrades later down the line.
Yeah, he's basically playing the Ottomans game against him. He's just going, went pretty aggro there, as it does take Ottomans just a second to get set up, and there's the second townsman right there on that deer patch, not too far from home, and that'll be securing a little bit of his food sources. Is there any way to see if he's got fresh foodstuffs yet? I'm not sure if that actually shows up on the UI or not.
It's not showing up in the UI, but he got it. I saw it earlier being completed alongside the wheelbarrow. Yeah, there we go.
I thought so, but okay. Okay, so we've got those two. Now, do note that fresh foodstuffs doesn't provide as much of a discount as it used to. It used to be 50% off. Now, what they cost? They're like 30. What was it? 35 food or something?
They're 32 food
32,
per villager.
Yeah, 32.
So
that's not a round number.
You still save 18 food with every single villager, meaning per minute a TC with fresh foodstuff saves a good bunch of food. It's like 54 food, so that's more than a villager gathers per minute, like 1.5 villagers gather per minute. So it's definitely worth, even if you're only having a single TC to get that upgrade.
It messed with all by like, I had all the numbers memorized of like how much exact food you have to have for this or gold to get that, and now like they changed all of those calculations of like counting how much gold is left on the mining camp for that. Some of that stuff.
Oh, now we already see the military scaling affecting this game heavily, as there's like 13 military out on the field for VortiX and only 8 on the field for LucifroN. And that's just going to scale further and further. And LucifroN needs to put up a lot of military production buildings here just in order to keep up with that. He's also making a whole lot of horsemen, which might be a mistake here, seeing as how heavily VortiX also invested into spearmen. He's even dropped another barracks early on.
Yep. And right now, a little, there's patrol in there in the middle, a wall on the north side. We've got the little bit of a skirmish mid, but those horsemen going to run away. And yeah, we see that military school coming in. That won't help those horsemen necessarily, but I'm sure he's got a infantry agenda here later. And I don't know, LucifroN's doing okay so far, to be honest. He's used a little bit of this military school pressure to buy himself time to kind of get set up in this position. But we do see the spy running in and picking off a villager. 2 villagers?
Doing a lot of damage. But with the fortitude, they also will take a lot of damage from any melee attack. Yeah, 2 Sipahi going down here. Sipahi do cost a little bit more than your average horseman, but in case they were free from the military school, it probably won't bother VortiX too much. And military numbers have gotten a little bit closer. So right now, VortiX only leading with 5 to 6 military units. So LucifroN is going to be fine here, I feel like. If he's able to weather out the storm and keep up military-wise in the feudal age, he might be fine. And now we already see a ram coming in. That's an early ram. That's a big investment into that ram. But VortiX, he does have the numbers still. Like, the composition right now is just superior for VortiX. He has a mixture of both archers and spearmen. LucifroN has archers and horsemen. And that's not going to work against the military composition that VortiX has. So the fight might go VortiX's way here. It's going to be really interesting to see how the micro works out for these players here.
Yeah.
If VortiX has like a moment of bad micro and LucifroN could surround the archers with the horsemen without the spearmen interfering, might go the way of LucifroN. But if VortiX just is on top of his game here, he should be able to take the win military-wise.
He's got to do more than just weather the storm. He's going to have a hurricane as 2 Rams are moving in right now. Of course, that Meteor providing those buffs to those nearby units, and he is definitely making a solid push towards that northern town center. Those villagers better be put on notice because he is coming on in here. Is he going to go for no gas?
It's not connected. It's not connected to the Golden Age, so it doesn't have any bonus torch armor.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. And
be really, really bad for LucifroN. We see armies now engaging.
Taking hits. That's going to be quickly going down, of course. 10 villagers inside there. He might lose some of those villagers as well. But LucifroN bringing his horsemen back. Going to get a flank here in a moment, but it does look like that town center is likely going to go down. Short of some crazy repair.
Yeah, 2 Rams are taking that down incredibly fast. But military here is looking good now for LucifroN. If he is able to focus down those spears, he might be able to clean this up. And once you clean up Ottomans, it's going to be getting you into a really, really comfortable position here. You really want to be able to clean those up. And it looks really good right now for LucifroN. He's able to clean up the military. Sure, he lost the TC, but he's already got a villager lead of roughly 8 villagers. So he's going to be fine.
And he didn't lose any villagers during that push. Was pretty big.
Yeah. And he actually killed 2 villagers at some point somehow.
Yeah, the Sipahi. Okay, so we got archers trading off here in the stealth forest. The horsemen pushing forward. Sipahi gone. I don't see any more spearmen left in that mass other than that one on the left side. So LucifroN chasing VortiX down. And Ottoman's not used to being in this position. But LucifroN just kind of waited for the attack. And he got the full surround. And look at those horsemen surrounding those archers.
Oh, GG gets cold.
Wow.
I gotta note that down because, man, the military school in this matchup, I'm not sure if it was due to the military school or maybe just the way VortiX positioned his army there. But it worked out really, really well for LucifroN.
There you guys have it.
Just gotta say.
That's an Abbasid clinic. How to survive the Ottomans. I don't see it very often, but yeah, you gotta love it when you do because it's usually an Ottoman favored matchup. But that's gonna make the series 2-1 in this best of 5. So we're in what could be a match point scenario, and I don't know what Sims might get pulled out next.
Maybe next game we see the reversal. It's going to be Ottomans against Abbasid once again, but they're just switching them out.
Yeah, I was thinking that a little bit.